Good morning, television family. It's good to see you on this Tuesday, the 25th day of October, 2022. 2 weeks until Election Day. It's as late as Election Day can be on the calendar, November 8th this year, which is the first Tuesday after the first Monday in November. And in case you're curious about why they selected that day for General Election Day, the first Tuesday after the first Monday in November, they chose that day because they discovered it was the least important day of the year. I don't know why they did that. Nice morning this morning, a little chilly, 37 degrees. We have not gotten to the freezing mark yet. Our average yearly day that we get to 32 or below is October 21st. We've already passed that, although it's going to get a little on the cool side because, as you can see behind me, we got some clear skies out there, and it will be October weather, very active autumnal weather all week long into the weekend. Temperatures hovering right around normal. Hit and miss rain. We had a little bit of rain yesterday, not much. 1/10 of 1 inch was all we got up at Pangborn Memorial Airport. We'll take what we can get. We got some more rain in the forecast. Details are coming up. Also, we'll have the latest news. It's a busy day in the bullpen, and it will be again today. We got some information for you. A little bit of snow coming down on Stevens Pass. We're told it's not sticking to the roadway. It is not snowing on Blewett or I-90. We're good to go there, but there's still going to be, the snow level is going to go down below pass level. The question is how much of this active weather is really going to bring snow to the upper elevations. Starting to talk about having to deal with that for this time of the year. Sports, Seahawks still coming off that nice little victory over the Chargers. Now they got the Giants coming to town, the 6-1 Giants. And we'll preview some of the prep action tonight. And in the back half of the program, yesterday you got to meet John Volan, one of the two candidates running for Chelan County District Court. And the other candidate vying for that position is Alan Blackman, who's been with the prosecutor's office for quite some time. And you'll get to know Alan Blackman with my interview with Alan in the back half of the show. Plus an opinion from my Mad Dog Naughty and everything else that you're used to. Let's start our tour. We're ways from sunrise. Sunrise is still another half an hour away, but the cameras are up there and running. As you can see, not a lot of cloud cover, which accounts for the chilly temperatures. 37 in the valley, 34 in Ephrata. It is below freezing in Omak. It is 30 up at Omak right now. It's a bit on the cool side out there as we look out over the Wenatchee Valley from one of our two cameras on the heights. The other one, of course, isn't operational right now. It's a long story. We don't want to get into it. Camera number 2. Again, we're still a half an hour from sunrise. Sunrise this morning at 7:34. Sunset tonight 5:55. That's 10 hours and 21 minutes of daylight. I see a body of water to the right. When it's this time of the year, it's hard to make things out. I don't know, Union Valley maybe? Oh, that's the Manson Water Tower. Of course it is. I should have known that. Looking back towards Chelan, that's where you can see the, looks like maybe a few more clouds up Chelan way. Let's check in with Chelan. You are at 46, so much milder in Chelan than it is here in the Wenatchee Valley. Good morning to Manson. Camera 3. Camera 3. Tucker's deciding at the last minute to go see Lake Wenatchee. Hello, Lake Wenatchee. Looks like the fires have really died down, and they got lots of clouds up there. They had rain. Fires are going way down. I wonder what's that blinky thing to the right? Wonder what that is. Boy, that jumps right out at you. That's near the airstrip, isn't it? I wonder what that is. Fish Lake is in the upper right-hand corner. You can barely make it out. You can make out almost all of Lake Wenatchee, Dirty Face Mountain, and you can't see any of the fires, and that's good. We like that. And Kaler Glen, the golf and ski resort at the bottom of your screen. And camera 4. As Tucker yawns, we're going to take a look at Billy Goat. Good morning, Pateros. Good morning, Bridgeport. Good morning, Brewster. Gorgeous view from Billy Goat, one of the highest cameras that we have. It's over 4,000 feet in elevation. This camera and the camera up Black Mountain are way up there in elevation, but that's how the Sky-Fi system works. For a Local-Tel Sky-Fi system, you get high-speed internet without having fiber run to your house. As long as you can see the tower on top of that mountain, you can get it. Pretty cool. Give Local-Tel a call if you're looking to get high-speed internet and you live in the boonies. It is a possibility as the mighty Columbia and the mighty Methow meet up. It is 5 minutes after the hour. Your forecast from the National Weather Service. Well, first of all, we'll talk about that guy a little bit later on. Instead, let's do something more like this. Yesterday we hit 53. We had a mixture of clouds and sun with some light rain. Our normal high is 56. Will be just about that today. Whatever rain we get today, there's only about a 30% chance of that will be in the afternoon hours. And then we have a good chance of rain, about a 70% chance of rain between about 8 to about midnight tonight. That's the next band of precipitation that they think is going to come into the Wenatchee Valley. As you can see, a little bit warmer for the overnight low, 39. Tomorrow, quite a bit of sunshine. Not looking bad at all. Right around normal, 55, 56 is our normal high temperature. Chilly, though, with the clear skies on Wednesday night, 37 for the overnight low. Next band comes in on Thursday night when the chance of rain goes up to 30%. It'll be mostly sunny Wednesday and Thursday. Thursday night is the next band of rain. And the snow level is going to be hovering right around 4,000 feet. It's going to dip down to 3,500 feet on Friday night and into Saturday, but there's also not a lot of precipitation anticipated with that. And also the temperatures in the Wenatchee Valley will be a little bit warmer. This is pretty much what we would normally see in late October. It just took a long time for autumnal weather to arrive, and maybe this is an indication of how unseasonably dry and warm it's been. The oak tree in my front yard looks like it's the middle of summer. It hasn't dropped a leaf. It hasn't changed color at all. Late on the autumnal colors, at least here in the Wenatchee Valley, with my measuring stick, which is one tree in my front yard. Going to take a break, and then we'll come back with your news in 1 minute. You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley on the NCW Life channel.
I'm Kim Schreier, and I approve this message.
Over 500,000 veterans call Washington State home, and many depend on the VA for their health care. But Matt Larkin told voters he wants to defund the VA completely. And if Larkin gets his way, that means veterans' hospitals would close down. Vets would be forced to pay more for prescriptions, and millions would lose the benefits they've earned. Matt Larkin. Reckless, dangerous, totally out of touch.
D&L Army Surplus in Wenatchee is stocked with items for the whole family. From ammo to collectibles and so much more. D&L Army Surplus, your one-stop shop for military surplus, survival, camping, and tactical gear. Bring the whole family and stop on by today.
Connect with us on Networked as we introduce you to the people and organizations who are leading innovation in the region. Get inspired, engaged, and networked right here on the NCW Life channel.
We're back at 8 minutes after the hour. We just ticked up a couple of degrees. 39 here in the big city, mid-50s today. A little bit of light rain this afternoon. Looking at a pretty good chance of measurable rain tonight. Dry period for Wednesday and Thursday, then hit and miss showers right into the weekend. Two Wenatchee men pleaded guilty on Monday to their part in a 2021 gang-related shooting that happened in East Wenatchee. 25-year-old Justino Omar Brito, he's going to be serving 28 months behind bars. 29-year-old Juan Arturo Bolanos, he received just under 10 months on home monitoring. Both entered pleas in Douglas County Superior Court. Brito to second-degree robbery, criminal gang intimidation, and attempted rendering criminal assistant. Bolanos pled to conspiracy to commit second-degree assault. Police say they were among 8 people involved in a shooting near East Wenatchee City Hall, which left one man wounded in the leg. Another defendant, Jorge Reyes, is already serving 3.5 years in prison for his part in the attack. 5 other people, including a juvenile, are still awaiting trial. Fire destroyed the Wilbur Ellis fertilizer plant just outside of Moses Lake on Sunday afternoon as flames consumed the plant. There were also concerns about the potential of noxious fumes making their way into the air, and because of that, there was a shelter-in-place advisory that was put out by the Grant County Health District for anybody living downwind from the fire. The fire was first reported about 3:15 on Sunday afternoon, and by the time firefighters arrived, the building was fully engulfed in flames. Shortly after 5 p.m. on Sunday, the Grant County Sheriff's Office reported that the building about 3 miles southeast of Moses Lake had collapsed. The Grant County Fire Marshal is investigating the cause of that fire. The East Wenatchee man who stole thousands of dollars worth of appliances and building materials was sentenced last week. He's going to do 13 months in prison. 36-year-old Enrique Juarez Rodriguez will undergo court-ordered drug treatment while he's in custody. Juarez pled guilty in Douglas County Superior Court to one count of trafficking in stolen property, 4 counts of possessing stolen property, and 1 count of theft. A police search of his home back in May found items stolen from construction sites throughout the Wenatchee Valley. Juarez admitted possessing 3 stolen heat pumps and attempting to sell a stolen trailer. His lawyers told the court a drug addiction contributed to his crimes. The Wenatchee School District's plan to elect its board members from 4 sub-districts has been signed off by a Chelan County court. Previously, all 5 seats on the board were elected at large, but the school board voted unanimously in June to change that to avoid conflicts with the state's Voting Rights Act. The adaptation required that the district submit its plan for court approval, and Chelan County Court Commissioner Tracy Brandt signed off on that plan on Friday. There was no objection placed on the court record, although 2 current school board members, Catherine Thomas and Julie Norton, have asked for a second look at the plan since it would force them to run for their seats in 2023 after winning election to 4-year terms just last November. All this week here at the NCW Live channel, we've been bringing you our interviews with candidates for Chelan County Commissioners. You can watch our full conversations with Ann Hesberg and Sean Smith on our website and at scheduled times here on this television station. Commissioners oversee crucial county departments, including the Community Development Department. That's the department in charge of planning, zoning, and building permits. And that department has had a lot of turnover in both directors and staff over the last few years, and both candidates say a change is needed.
I think the difficulty has been having a director with local historical and institutional knowledge of Chelan County and its adopted regulations. Historically, directors have been hired from out of area or out of state that don't know and understand the local regulations and the public process that those regulations went through for the adoption. And so there's some understanding that gets lost in that sphere because they don't know how the public interacted with county staff and with the commissioners through the public process, the comments that were provided that helped tailor the language specific to Chelan County residents. And there's a lack of understanding with how the language is meant to be implemented as well. And so that has created some conflict through the application and processing process. And oftentimes there's conflict through the decision-making process within that department.
I think finding the right person that has thick enough skin to handle the customers coming in the front door and treat them with respect and treat them with good customer service, which I have, of course, been doing for all these years at the restaurant, gives them the ability to come in with a question rather than come in and think they're doing something wrong and get a good answer. And finding the right person that can handle that with a customer mindset is going to be important. And of course, it's been a revolving door over there at Community Development for as long as I can remember, 15 years plus. There's been a lot of people that have come and gone through there. But finding that person that can do that job and equally apply the codes and the rules across the board without the outside influences of firms or someone working with a customer that is trying to bend a rule or make it so it's a one-time exception or an allowance, we need to remember that everyone needs to have the same set of rules and everyone plays by that same expectation.
A former Army sergeant was freed from the Chelan County Jail on Friday. He spent 2.5 months in confinement for voyeurism. 32-year-old Stephen Jacob Olson pled guilty to 2 felony voyeurism counts for placing a hidden camera in a vacation rental home he was sharing with friends. Chelan County Sheriff's deputies said the camera recorded others while they used the bathroom in the rental house on Blewett Pass in December of 2019. Olson reported to jail on the same day he entered his plea back in August. That way he could be freed on his sentencing date. He was previously stationed at Joint Base Lewis McChord. He's now going to return to his home in Texas, where he must register as a sex offender. That's the news. At 1:15 on this Tuesday, Grant and Eric and Cal and Jefferson and Mac and whoever else happens to chime in. We'll put together a newscast for you at 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, and 10 o'clock. Available also to watch on our Facebook page and on our homepage with a preview. Here's the anchor, Grant Olson.
Good morning, Dan. Coming up tonight on the NCW Life Evening News, Jefferson Robbins continues his look at candidates for Chelan County Commissioner. Another round of rain moving in today with the wet stuff likely by tonight. I'll have all the details in your complete North Central Washington weather forecast. And in sports, Eric Granstrom has a look at what's on the schedule in tonight's high school sports action and has the latest on the Wild and the Kraken. That and all the day's news stories coming your way tonight at 5, 6, and 10 on the NCW Life Evening News. We hope to see you then. Dan?
Appreciate your efforts, Grant, and don't forget, if you have a news tip or you just want to drop us a note, you can do so. Try to make it as easy as possible. If you have access to the internet, you're in. If you have a telephone, you can do that too. You can get a hold of us via our website, ncwlife.com. You can email us directly, news@ncwlife.com, or go to our Facebook page and use the Messenger app. Just click on it. It goes like this. But the button doesn't make that kind of noise. 16 minutes after the hour, we got sports coming your way, the obscure holiday, today in history, some celebrity birthdays, a lot of them as a matter of fact. An opinion from Matt Daubignotti. If you haven't voted yet in the November 8th general election for Chelan County District Court Judge, you'll get to know Alan Blackman when we come back. You're watching Wake Up in Wenatchee Valley on the NCW Life channel.
At Washington Trust Bank, can't is a 4-letter word.
I think we should hire more people.
Doc, I'm late for a meeting. I'm thinking of starting my own practice.
Do it. Too much capital.
We need a warehouse.
I can't imagine how we do that.
We should knock that wall down and expand.
Do it. There's always another wall beyond the wall.
We believe you can do whatever you set your mind to, and we'll help you get there. Washington Trust Bank, privately owned, locally invested.
It's the NCW Life Community Calendar, a presentation of NCW Towing. The Haunted Museum returns to the Wenatchee Valley Museum and Cultural Center the last 4 days of October. It's an interactive journey that navigates through creepy underground hallways, mazes, secret passageways, and multiple special effects. Tickets are sold in time slots. It's $30 for 2 people, and groups are limited to 6 at a time. Tickets and guidelines are on the museum's website. The Haunt is not recommended for children under 13.
17 minutes after the hour, Seahawks improved, of course, to 4-3 with 4-3 on the year with Sunday's victory over the Chargers. One negative note came out of that game, though. You probably saw it, an injury to the tendon of wide receiver DK Metcalf. Well, they did the test yesterday. Pete Carroll said it's not going to require surgery, but it's still going to be wait and see on whether Mr. Metcalf can play this Sunday.
Yeah, I don't know that about when he can get back. I don't really even have a clue on that one. But I know he's really anxious to try to make his way back, and he's in his mind he wants to try to practice Wednesday. And I don't know if that's even possible. But he's still pretty sore today, and he's. But his attitude, because there's no immediate process to go through as far as surgeries and stuff like that. They got to see how he responds to the treatment and see what happens. I'm sorry, I don't have any more specific for you, and that's why I'm being really vague.
Marquise Goodwin could play a significant role if DK Metcalf can't play. He's an 8-year veteran. The Seahawks are the 4th team he's been with in the last 8 years. And Coach Pete Carroll says he can't understand why he hasn't been good everywhere he's been.
Since we've known Marquise here in our program, I'm amazed that he hasn't, been really productive, because he's really has natural feel. He's got really good hands. He's got great timing and all that, and he's got phenomenal speed, and he's still really fast. I don't know, why I would just think that he should have been available for a lot more production, a lot more yards in his career. He has been banged up at times, and been in and out some, but he's got a lot of gifts, and so with DK, slow down a little bit, his opportunities will go up, and we won't hesitate to do all of the stuff with him. He has command of all of the offense.
Rookie running back Kenneth Walker III got his first start of the season because, of course, we lost Rashad Penny. He's got a broken leg. He ain't coming back. Coach Pete Carroll said the former Michigan State Spartan shows some potential to be pretty darn good.
He's pretty natural. He's natural at the kind of the job description. His attitude is really strong. He just wants to stay on the field. He doesn't want to come off. He doesn't looking for a break. toughness, elusive, creativity, and then his speed is incredible, and so he's got all of the elements that we're looking for, and I thought that was a good game for him. He got 20 carries against something and close there, and he looked comfortable and picked and choose his moments to burst, and he did a lot of really instinctive, cool things, and so. He's just getting started. He hasn't done anything twice yet, so it's real positive for us.
Seahawks back home at Lumen Field taking on the Giants, the New York Football Giants. They're 6-1 on the year, by the way. Kickoff 1:25 on Fox. Speaking of Fox, that's the network for the 118th World Series. Gets going on Friday. Of course, the Astros undefeated in postseason play. They're 7-0. They got 2 sweeps in their back pocket. They will host the Philadelphia Phillies, a surprise team in the playoffs. Game 1, Minute Maid Park in Houston. Game time Friday, 5:03 p.m. And neither team, by the way, has announced their starters yet, but it's only Tuesday. The Kraken back at home at Climate Pledge Arena in NHL play tonight. Seattle will look to earn its first home victory of the season. They'll take on the Buffalo Sabres. Buffalo is 4-1-0 on the year. The Kraken are 2-3-2. They'll drop the puck at 7 o'clock, and you can watch it on Root Sports Northwest. Or at 7 o'clock, you can watch volleyball tonight. We got it right here. The Wenatchee Panthers will be celebrating senior night at the gym. They'll take on the Moses Lake Mavericks. Wenatchee is tied with West Valley atop the Big Nine standings at 9-1. The Mavs are 6-5 in conference play. They're in third place. Eric with the call, courtside. We'll get going a little before 7 here tonight on the NCW Life channel. The rest of the volleyball schedule is Chelan hosts Omak at 6:30. Brewsters in Manson. Okanagan will host Bridgeport. Oroville visits Lake Roosevelt. Tenasket is at Liberty Bell. On the bigger schools, Ephrata is at home against Grandview at 6:30. Eastmont's on the road at West Valley. They get going at 7. To the pitch we go. The girls' soccer schedule. Chelan hosts Omak at 4 o'clock. Okanagan will be at Brewster. Tenasket visits Bridgeport at 4:30. Manson will host Liberty Bell at 5:30. And under the lights tonight, Lake Roosevelt at Pateros at 6. Cashmere hosts Quincy at 6:30. Eastmont takes on West Valley at 7. And Wenatchee's on the road at Moses Lake. And on Friday, we will be at Lee Bofto Field at the Apple Bowl. The Wenatchee Panthers will celebrate their senior night. They got the West Valley Rams coming to town. If the Panthers win, they would go into 4th place in the Big Nine. They would have a chance to play a crossover game to go to state the following week. Grant Olson, Eric Granstrom with the call, 6:30, right here on the NCW Life channel. And those are just some of the games that people are playing on this Tuesday, the 25th day of October. I could have chosen International Artist Day for the obscure holiday. Today is World Pasta Day, but we've been talking way too much about pasta lately. Thank you very much. Today is National Greasy Food Day. No, but today is about all things sour. All things sour. Today is National Sour Day. That's sucking on a lemon, everybody. How did Sour Day come to be? Richard Ankle of Ann Arbor, Michigan, created National Sour Day in 1977 because one of his best friends' last name was Sour, and his birthday was on October 25th. That's how it became National Sour Day. Nothing to do with anything that's edible that's sour, but if you're a fan of grapefruit, lemons, limes, rhubarb, kumquat, sauerkraut, cranberries, or yes, kimchi, today is your day. If you like things sour, enjoy. National Sour Day today. It's 24 minutes after the hour. Today in history. Move forward, Captain. Just turn the page. There you go. On this date, 60 years ago, a lot of, I don't know if you've been reading up on this a lot, but this is the 60th anniversary of the Cuban Missile Crisis. And this was on this day, 10 days. It was 10 days before this date that the planes took the photos saying, hey, the Soviets are building missile silos in Cuba. 9 days before this event, President Kennedy was told about it. Then Kennedy met with Andre Gromyko in his office, and he said, I don't know what you're talking about. So they decided to make it public, and Adlai Stevenson, our ambassador to the United Nations, sat before this United Nations Security Council with his big board of photos and said, look, here they are, right in front of the Soviets. Says, here's a mission. You're building these things. Soviets said, I don't know what you're talking about. Adlai Stevenson showed the world the reconnaissance photographs. Things got worse, by the way, before they got better. This was 60 years ago today. 39 years ago today, the first overthrow of a communist government since World War II, and it was us. The United States invaded Grenada, an island in the Caribbean just off the coast of Venezuela with a population of about 100,000. The pretext was to make sure that the American exchange students in Grenada would be safe. They said, we're fine. They invaded a country whose entire economy is based on somebody bringing you a drink by the pool at the hotel. But we invaded Grenada. Whole thing took about 2.5 days. Whatever. And finally, oh man, I remember watching this game. My friend Darren Harris and I were at Joe's Log Cabin Tavern watching Game 6 of the 1986 World Series. We were both cheering for the Red Sox. It's over. It's the bottom of the 10th inning. There's 2 outs. There's nobody on. The Red Sox are leading the Mets 5-3. Briefly on the Shea Stadium scoreboard, they flash up, congratulations, Boston Red Sox, 1986 World Champions. And then it all fell apart. And in case you forgot how it all fell apart, here's a brief little recap.
Fouled away. Tension mounts some more with 2 out in the 10th. 5-4 Red Sox. Ray Knight at first. Kevin Mitchell at third. 2-2 to Mookie Wilson. And it's going to go to the backstop. Here comes Mitchell to score the tying run. And Ray Knight is at second base. Believe this ball game at Shea. Oh, brother. So the winning run is at second base with 2 out, 3-2 to Mookie Wilson. Little roller up along first, behind the bag. It gets through Buckner. Here comes Knight, and the Mets win it.
Couple of quick side notes to this. Darren and I were both cheering for the Red Sox. Being American, I'm a Yankee. We're supposed to not like the Red Sox. That was not the case. I wanted the Red Sox to win to get the curse over with. Not a big fan of the Mets. And, of course, you saw what happened. And, of course, New York went on to win Game 7 and the World Championship. The other little item of note, you saw Kevin Mitchell score the tying run on the wild pitch. When the inning began, Kevin Mitchell, figuring he was a utility player, figured, I'm not going to play the game. He got out of his uniform in the 10th inning, got into his street clothes, was on the phone in the clubhouse with his agent trying to book the red eye from New York to San Diego so we could go home because the World Series was over, when they said, Kevin Mitchell, you're in the game. And so he got out of his street clothes and got back into his uniform and went out and played the game without his cup on because he couldn't find it. Congratulations to the Mets. All right, let's do some birthdays. If you listen to music at all, you have heard Earl Palmer. He played on literally 1,000 hit songs, every hit song from Little Richard, every hit song from Fats Domino, Elvis Presley, the Righteous Brothers, on and on and on and on and on and on. The drummer's drummer, the first session musician to be inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, the drummer's drummer, Earl Palmer. You've heard him many, many times, probably didn't even know it. Earl Palmer was born 98 years ago today. We lost Earl in 2008 at the age of 83, but his music is out there all the time, everywhere. Now you know who he is. Dan Gable, the most famous wrestler in this country's history. His record in college as a wrestler, 117-1. He lost his last match for the NCAA championship his senior year. That's incredible. At the 1972 Olympic Games, he won the gold medal, didn't give up a point. And then he coached Iowa to bazillion national championships. Dan Gable, 74 years old today. Bart Simpson is now eligible for Social Security and Medicaid. Nancy Cartwright, the voice of Bart Simpson is 10. Nancy Cartwright is 65 years old today, the voice of Bart Simpson. Pedro Martinez is 51 years old today. Why this guy wasn't unanimously elected in the Baseball Hall of Fame is beyond me. He broke the game. He dominated baseball during his peak with the Boston Red Sox. Happy birthday to Pedro, 51 years old today. And Catherine Elizabeth Hudson. Catherine Elizabeth Hudson, you know her as Katy Perry. Life is good for her. She is 38 years old today. Going to take a break. Mike Magnotti's got an opinion. I'm shocked about that. And then you'll get to know Alan Blackman, who is running to replace the retiring Judge Ray Ford for Chelan County District Court Judge. Alan, my guest when we come back. You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley on the NCW Life Channel.
Did you know people 65 or older make up 12% of the U.S. population but consume 34% of all prescription drugs? Protect yourself and your aged loved ones from prescription errors. Always read labels carefully to avoid mistakes. Ask your pharmacist if over-the-counter medicines conflict with your prescriptions, and never skip doses or take more than is prescribed. This message sponsored by Aging and Adult Care of Central Washington. Call 1-800-572-4459 for prescription assistance.
Hi folks, welcome to Save Mart. How can we help you today?
We're looking for a recliner.
Okay, right this way. Go ahead and move this chair on the other side. You can lift this up.
Great, I want that one. I like that one.
That's a great choice.
And I want this one as well.
Okay.
And I definitely want this one.
You'll find it at Save Mart. Full service at a low, low price.
Hey Wenatchee Valley, this is Ben Griffin. I'm here with my friend Eddie the Yeti. He wants to share some big news.
Arctic Refrigeration is now employee-owned and has a new name, Columbia Cooling and Refrigeration. I want you to remember this summer, when you're hot and sweaty, call the Eddie.
No, it's called the Yeti, Y-E-T-I, not called the Eddie.
Whatever. We are a factory-authorized Bryant dealer. Whatever it takes.
Give us a call at Columbia Cooling and Refrigeration at 509-662-5911.
Badger Mountain Brewery is your cure for boredom. Jam Night Mondays. Trivia Wednesdays. Live Music Fridays. And Sunday Brunch. There's always something brewing at Badger Mountain. So come join the party.
Hey, this is Mad Dog McNutty, and everybody's entitled to my opinion. Now, something I ask of my counseling clients is, how many times in the past few months have you lost your temper? Now, regardless of what they answer, I tell them the truth. The truth is that they've never lost their temper. None of us has. Because we don't lose our temper, we give it away. Now, no one makes me mad or makes me do anything unless I give up personal responsibility and let them control me. Saying I lost my temper is the same thing as saying that somebody else did something bad enough for me to act like a jerk, but it's their fault. And the scientific, clinical term for that kind of thinking is BS. This is Mike Mad Dog McNatty, and that's my opinion.
Are you
caught in a conflict with a family member, in the workplace, or with a neighbor or business? Wenatchee Valley Dispute Resolution Center provides mediation services, a cost-effective and efficient way to provide a written resolution to disputes and issues. Plus, we offer mediation training and community education on topics like conflict resolution and communication skills. Contact us at 509-888-0957 or www.wvdrc.org to learn more.
This could be the view out of your office window.
North Central Washington is probably one of the most beautiful places to live, and you get to experience it all as a transit operator.
Link Transit coach operators enjoy full family benefits, paid CDL training, a state-of-the-art fleet, and the satisfaction of being part of a progressive, community-minded team.
We have a lot of fun with each other. I mean, it's a good group of people. We're all kind of like a family.
If you like this view, Link has a seat for you. The next operator training starts soon. Apply today at linktransit.com.
As the sun sets in Chelan County, the lights come on. Birds, bugs, and us. We all need the night sky. Give our pollinators a little love. Add outdoor lighting controls to your local business. Chelan PUD can pay up to 100% of your new lights and lighting controls that save energy, save money, and help protect our night sky. With way bigger incentives from Chelan County PUD, now through December 31st.
We were in Roseburg in the early 80s. Our oldest son, Dan, was a defensive back, a starter on that team. They set, in fact, became Oregon State champions, setting the first undefeated 14-0 season in Oregon's history. And our kids still talk about that. I go back now, too, and I think about all those great days and great times. The neat thing is that we can go back in today and still enjoy the same quality food that we enjoyed 50 years ago. That's legendary.
Welcome back to the program. November 8th, General Election Day. There's a lot of issues on the ballot. There are a lot of people on the ballot. And again, it's been kind of it was so weird, Alan, because for many, many years, it was the district court judge in Chelan County. It was just Tom Warren. It was just Tom. He was always there. Tom retired in, 06 it was. And from that point forward, Alan, there's been a lot of turnover in the district court judge positions, and you have thrown your hat into the ring to replace retiring Judge 4 for the opening position. This is position 1 for Chelan County District Judge. Quick full disclaimer, I've known Alan for a long time. We go back
a long time.
50 some odd years. I just wanted to get that out of the way. I know about your professional and educational background, Alan, but maybe our viewers don't. We'll start with that. Alan Blackman, 101.
Okay, well, as Dan had mentioned, I have been a member here of Chelan County for 50 years. I grew up here. We were mentioning off camera that my elementary school, Whitman Elementary, is no longer in existence. It's a Wells Fargo bank now. Went to Columbia Elementary, then Orchard Junior High, Wenatchee High. Went to Wenatchee Valley College for 1 year because I bought a car when I was in high school. And back then, you had to pay off your own cars. Your folks wouldn't do that for you. So instead of entering the University of Washington at that point, I went to Wenatchee Valley College for a year to pay off my car. Then off to UW, where I got a degree in architecture and urban planning. Took a year off. My father passed away. And then I went off to Syracuse University, College of Law. That's where I got my law degree. Had a small business in Connecticut for a brief period of time. Came back to Wenatchee, and I've been a prosecutor for Chelan County for the last 26 years.
And you've worked in almost all departments, but I've known Alan mostly in juvenile division.
Yes, correct. I'm currently doing juvenile court, also our civil commitment court that we do for Chelan Douglas County, which is for dealing with mentally ill or people that have substance use disorders. Also do some adult superior court. And then my background, I've got a lengthy background in district court as well, over 16 years of my 26 years where I've been in district court.
Well, let's talk about that. That's maybe the number one place to begin with. And I've had these same questions, by the way, I asked John Volan, I'm asking Alan as well. Difference between district court and superior court. Superior court gets all the press, they get all the sexy cases, and district court is kind of almost an afterthought. So give folks a little rundown on what exactly a district court judge does and what kind of cases does the district court handle.
District court is going to be more your people's court. The court that you're going to have contact with, most likely, if you have contact with the court, is going to be the district court. That's going to be for most people, a traffic infraction or a parking ticket, something like that. If there's a criminal offense, it's going to be a criminal offense that's a punishment less than 1 year. So these would be our misdemeanors and gross misdemeanors. Superior court, is the higher punishment type of calendar. We have some murders up there right now, your sexual assaults, things like that. We will not see that in district court. District court is mostly suspended driver's licenses, driving under the influence, lower level malicious mischief or assaults, things of that nature. Small claims you'll find there as well, and civil suits under $100,000. But for the most part, all your family law, your real estate law, those will be up in superior court as well.
And yet there's still a huge docket in district court. I mean, you're dealing with hundreds of cases at any one time. That's on the calendar.
Yes, correct. Well, because there's a lot of traffic tickets out there, and a number of people are driving with suspended licenses, but a lot of offenses that people commit are minor. Not that they're not important, because that is something that is very, very important and vital to them, but they are lower level offenses, and obviously there's going to be a lot more of those committed than our more serious offenses.
I asked John this question. I'll ask you the same question as well. Courtroom, going into a courtroom, either as a defendant, whether you're fighting a traffic ticket or whatever, can be intimidating. It can be, oh geez, I'm in a courtroom, and courtrooms are designed to have a certain amount of gravity. How do you make people relax and get their point across in that kind of setting? I mean, a lot of people go, oh, no, they're not really themselves.
Well, there is a degree of decorum in court, and you are talking to a judge. But the thing to remember is you're also talking to a human being. And the judge also has to remember they're talking to a human being. And it's just a conversation that you would have with them, obviously being respectful of both parties, but making sure that the court is listening to the concerns the person has and take what they're saying and consider it in making their judgment. Hopefully they're doing it fairly and impartially.
Judges are not policymakers. They have the guardrails, they have the box, they have the RCW. That being said, there's still ambiguity in the revised Code of Washington that one has to deal with as a judge, do they not?
They do, and how you interpret a particular statute or Washington Administrative Code, whatever it might be. Yeah, there is some discretion involved that each court has in making their decisions.
In your job in the prosecuting attorney's office, and if you went onto the judgeship as well, do you have a sixth sense, almost like weeding the garden, that this case has merit and demands more attention than others? All cases deserve a certain amount of attention, regardless of what the controversy may be. But can you just kind of tell by intuition with your experience that you kind of know that this is something that is more serious than others? You just kind of know, you get a sixth sense of that?
Well, yeah, I've been doing this for 26 years, so you have an idea when you are reading a case or the facts of the case, a police report, and determination, maybe there's something more going on. You might see that more in domestic violence, where you will have a pattern of behavior that you'll notice in the police report, and then the actual crime itself. And so that one you want to pay attention to every offense, but maybe pay more attention to that as opposed to maybe somebody that's driving without a license, or they didn't have their ID on them, or a speeding ticket, let's say. So, there's some that deserve, I think, a more serious look, because they are more serious offenses. And so, with my experience, you kind of have an idea of doing that. So I don't want to call it a sixth sense. I guess it's just a lot of experience.
All of it, though, as a prosecutor, no defense work. Is that a good thing, a bad thing? I mean, when you're running for district court judge, because you've been on just basically one side of of the dais for most of your professional career in that regard.
Sure, and I really wouldn't look at it as a good or a bad thing one way or the other. A prosecutor's role is really unique in our society. One, a prosecutor's role is a quasi-judicial officer, that we always have to make sure that justice is being served fairly. As a prosecutor, we are not allowed to take a case that we do not believe, or charge a case that there's not probable cause, or that we have an abiding belief that a conviction might result. One of the things that we always do is making sure we're protecting the rights of all involved, all parties. So that means witnesses, victims, and even the accused at that point as well, to make sure their rights are not being infringed upon. And when we're reviewing a case, we get a police report, we look at it, we're seeing if there are any, we might call them deficiencies or technicalities. Did the officer read the Miranda? Were they seized at this point? And so there's a lot of cases that prosecutors don't even file that offense might occur, but because of one of those technicalities, we don't charge it. And so really, the prosecutor's sole goal is justice. And we do that, I think, very, very well here. And so it doesn't hurt me that I have not been on the defense bar, because I'm already considering a number of things, arguments the defense will bring, things like that, when we're making charging decisions and what we go forward from there.
And it should be pointed out that, and I've heard this by more than one judge and lawyer, 80% of their job is reading. You do a lot of reading in your current job, and as a judge, you spend a ridiculous amount of time reading, do you not?
We do, and I guess as a prosecutor, our caseloads are much higher than, I suppose, defense counsel, because we, on a court calendar, typically, particularly district court, we have every case that's there. So we have to know all those cases and all those facts, and then all the infractions, things like that. So so we do an awful lot of reading as prosecutors, but that's part of the job. And as a judge, that'd be part of the job, and I'm not afraid of doing that, and I'm well equipped to do so.
Is it me, or is the Chelan Douglas Bar Association a pretty good group of folks? We have a remarkable talent pool of some top-flight legal minds in little old Winnetagee town.
We are really excellent in our legal field here. You look at other bar associations around the state, and ours really excels. I mean, we're not a huge community. I mean, Chelan and Douglas County are not, enormous communities, but we have fantastic legal representation, and the folks here that do an amazing job. And it really is a good group of folks that we all get together and enjoy each other.
You're running for public office, and yet it's a judge thing. And I asked John Volan the same question. I'll ask you, should judges be elected or appointed, or maybe can we go half and a half? I know for a fact that John doesn't much care for campaigning, and I know it's not really something you like to do, but if you want to win, you got to do it. What do you feel about the idea of either appointing judges with input from the Bar Association, or just doing the elections as we do them now? Where are you at with that?
It is a little bit unusual that we do elect judges. When I'm doorbelling, I'll knock on the door like, hey, I'm running for judge. People are like, I didn't know we elected judges here in the state. And I said, well, federally appoint, but here we do. And so I guess they're a public official, but we're really hampered on what we can say in our campaigns or doorbelling. That's an interesting question. We should be elected. I guess you want the judges and your elected officials to be responsive to the public, but also, when you think about it, I mean, sometimes maybe it's just a popularity contest and not based upon qualifications, and then somebody might have somebody in the office, whatever office it might be. It's like, gosh, I don't know if that was the greatest decision. So maybe if there could be some, I don't know, board that reviews candidates, maybe they either are appointed initially and then you run, or you run and then they determine whether you're still doing a good job. I guess for me, the election system seems to work. I believe in the faith of our elections, and so I guess at this point, let's keep electing them. But it'd be great if the public had a little bit more input on what we do.
That's pretty much what John said as well. I might add. I asked John this question. I'll ask you this. This is just out of my own curiosity. I have noticed over the course of the last 15, 20 years, jury trials, be it civil or criminal, don't really make it all the way to the impartial judge and jury and 12 of your learned citizens casting judgment on guilt or innocence. Trials don't seem to make it to juries much anymore. I mean, is that me, or is that the case?
Well, I think it's two things. One's in civil cases, the risk versus what you're going to have to pay out if you are found liable. The risks might be so great that the insurance companies and interested parties say, like, let's try to settle this because it's going to cost more to go to trial than it is to settle it, and the risk of going to trial might be greater. On the criminal side, we do have a number of sexual assault cases that we have up in Superior Court. District Court, we do not seem to have as many trials going, and that could be just part of plea negotiations that's going on. I think maybe COVID helped, I guess, limit the amount of trials because we weren't doing trials for a long period of time. Cases were getting stacked up, and for judicial economy, some of those cases had plea agreements taking care of those cases. And then maybe because of that, we're just used to not perhaps having the trials that we're used to, and it's a particular comfort level. But I guess it's individually on each prosecutor what they want to take to trial or not, and for on the civil side, what they want to settle out or not.
That works for me. I think I get it now. I really do. Endorsements. John has some significant people in the legal community who have endorsed him. You've gotten some significant number of retired judges have endorsed your campaign. Is that an uncomfortable call to make? Hello, retired Judge Smith, retired Judge Jones. I'm running for. Can you support me? How does that? I mean, that's. I know you, and I know it can't be a comfortable thing.
Yeah, it's really uncomfortable, I guess, to ask people for an endorsement, at least for me. I'm a little bit more, perhaps, on that type, more reserved side. It's like I just want to just kind of do it on my own. And obviously in campaigns today, you just cannot do it on your own. You need some help, and you need some people that will say like, hey, I support this individual. I was blessed that 2 of the judges that are endorsing me actually called me up. I didn't ask for their endorsement. They called me and said, hey, Alan, we would like to endorse you. So yeah, I have some really great endorsements by current Judge Kristen Ferreira, but also retired judges Alicia Nakata, Chip Small, and Leslie Allen, as well as Judge Bigger on the Douglas County side.
Interesting scenario has presented itself not long ago. As I mentioned before, John Volan and Allen are running to replace the retiring Judge 4, and then all of a sudden Kyle Mott, the other Chelan County District Court judge, announced he's leaving the judgeship and he's going to return to private practice. Is there a possibility that both you and John Volan may in fact be wearing black robes on January 1st? Is this kind of a win-win thing? What's going to happen with this? Now, there's 2 seats essentially open.
Yeah, that did throw a little bit of a curveball, I guess. Still campaigning, but the county commissioners will make the decision on who gets appointed to that position that Judge Mott is retiring. So what will happen is that you'll put your name in for that, and I'm putting my name in for that, and you prepare your documents, and then the county commissioners will review all those candidates, and then they will make a decision on some finalists, and from there they will convene and make their decision. So yes, there is a possibility that although we're both running for the same job, one of us could be appointed to the other position as well.
What is the vetting process on that? Does the Bar Association play any role in that? Is there a ranking system? How do the commissioners know that they're making the right decision when they're appointing somebody to a very important job? How do you know?
You know, you'd probably have to talk to the commissioners on that one. What we're to submit is a cover letter and a resume, and they will take all those documents from everybody that's interested and winnow through it. I do not know what their process is. I'm just going off what the county commissioner website was, is that's what we'll do. And they'll take it down to 3 people, and then they'll do interviews after that. Based upon that, they'll make their decision. And I believe they make the decision on November 14th, I believe.
And finally, dumb question time from Dan. And Alan, I'll give you the final word.
Okay.
Why do you think you'd be a good judge? Why do you think you would serve the people of Chelan County with the proper respect and decorum that being a district court judge entails? I'll let you take it home, Alan.
All right, thank you. Well, I've been a prosecutor for 26 years. So I've been representing our community and been a public servant for 26 years, serving all of you folks. As for district court, I have an enormous amount of experience in there. I have over 16 years of experience in district court, handling thousands upon thousands of cases, and I don't know how many infraction hearings, and almost everything a district court judge would do. And so as a prosecutor, we're also only interested in justice, and that's our primary goal and our sole goal, really, as a prosecutor and representing everybody, is to do just that. A judge's role is very, very similar to that. Obviously, that I would argue on behalf of the citizens and the state, you know, in a case as a prosecutor. And as a judge, you're not an advocate for either. You're just a neutral arbiter. But the fact that what a prosecutor does and what the job entails leaves me highly qualified and probably exceptionally qualified to do this. So I believe I'm the best choice for this, and my experience speaks for itself.
You can learn more about Alan and John Volan by going to the Chelan County Auditor's website. You can download the voters pamphlet. I got it right here. Alan has a Facebook page, Instagram, and all that other stuff as well.
We do.
Good to see you, Alan, and best of luck on Tuesday the 8th.
Thank you very much, Dan.
Good to see you, my friend.
Good to see you.
You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. We'll be right back.
Haunted Mansion returns to Lake Chelan. It's Harvest by Day. Haunted by Night. Experience the second annual Haunted Mansion all October long. Bring the whole family to experience fun harvest and haunted activities like the haunted house, haunted graveyard, pumpkin walk, pumpkin float, scarecrow competition, dog costume contest, and so much more. Get tickets to this year's bigger, scarier haunted house and get details on all the free activities by visiting hauntedmansion.com. That's hauntedmansion.com.
Fall has arrived and Collins Fashions is your headquarters for cozy warm sweaters and jackets. Holiday attire so sparkling and glamorous from Joseph Ribkoff and Frank Lyman. We have soft sweaters from Karen Kane, Tribal, Charlie B, and Ken Ross Cashmere. New jeans and all washes and styles just for you from Jag, Cut, Liverpool. New fall Brighton handbags and styles and colors in sable and chili pepper. And ladies, it's time to fill out your wish list at Collins Fashions, where fun meets fashion in downtown Wenatchee.
The newest generation of GMC Sierra pickups offer the most advanced technology, the strongest selection of powertrain, and everything else you need to work hard, play hard, and explore the boundaries of the Wenatchee Valley and beyond. Take a look at the latest, most luxurious and durable trucks on the market.
You will see why GMC is not your grandfather's pickup.
You want to bet, kid?
Businesses and individuals have trusted the experienced professionals of financial alternatives for their retirement and investment needs for 40 years. They offer a broad range of investments, annuities, and insurance solutions for people and businesses throughout Washington. Financial alternatives will assist you in making informed decisions for your future. Call Financial Alternatives today and meet with their advisors.
When Mike leaves town, it's a little scary. You never know who might be outside. But we feel safer inside knowing our home is being monitored by a local company. I can check our alarm from just about anywhere. So when we get home, I know it's safe.
Protect your family and save money with a local company. Switch your current security monitoring to Guardian Services from LocalTel. Call Guardian Security from LocalTel now or visit localtel.net to learn more.
All right, getting ready to wrap up this Tuesday edition of Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. Real quickly up on Stevens Pass, it continues to snow on Highway 2. Has been for the last few hours, but it's not sticking to the roadway. In fact, I just looked at the camera. The roadway is bare and wet. You're good to go, but they could get some snow accumulations later on in the week as we kind of have a series of systems that are kind of lined up, going to pay us a visit. So we'll get a little bit of rain, then we'll get a break, and then a little bit of rain. And then a little bit of a break. Temperatures will be right around seasonal from the national, but beautiful view there. That's good stuff. Where's that from, Captain? That's Nanapoc Ridge up there, Lake Wenatchee Way. Beautiful. And again, it seems to me that the autumnal colors are a little behind schedule. It could be me, but it's certainly been the case here in the Wenatchee Valley. Let's go ahead and take a look at that forecast from the National Weather Service. Chance of rain, most of it will be this afternoon. Only about a 30% chance of rain this afternoon. We'll get up to right around 55 or so, which is right around normal. And then we have a pretty good chance of rain, about a 70% chance of rain until about midnight tonight. So your two windows are a little bit of light rain in the afternoon, and then it's some significant rain, measurable rain, between about 7 to about 11 tonight, and as you can see, we'll get down to 39 degrees. 55 with quite a bit of sunshine on Wednesday, and for the most part, Thursday we'll see quite a bit of sunshine. We'll be fairly dry. Then the next system comes in on Thursday night. Going to bring us some rain here in the Wenatchee Valley, light rain and some light snow in the mountain passes, and then kind of a right between 30 to 40% continuing chance of light rain, really picking up on Friday and going right through the weekend, including Halloween, which is coming up 1 week from Monday, or coming up on Monday, as a matter of fact. That's it for us. Have a great day. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.